The sun lit up the orbital defense station as Admiral Han watched the stars. 300 years had passed since Earth's first contact with aliens. It had gone badly. Very badly. The wounds were still fresh in humanity's history books. Admiral, Han touched the screen in front of him. Earth had grown stronger since then. They had studied, they had learned, they had prepared. Director Jin, we have movement at the edge of the system, he said into his communicator. The alert lights flashed red on his console. Director Jin's face appeared on the small screen. Imperial scouts again? Yes. They're testing us. All around the solar system, Earth's warning beacons broadcasted the same message in 287 different alien languages. Earth is off limits. These warnings had kept the peace for years, but lately the signals from the edge of the system suggested the Galactic Empire was growing bold. On the Imperial capital world, far beyond human space, Emperor Day sat on his crystal throne. His long fingers tapped on the armrest as he listened to his advisors. These humans are simple creatures, said General Moon. Their technology is basic. Their world is rich with resources we need. The warning beacons? Asked the Emperor. A bluff, said General Moon with a smile that showed his sharp teeth. They have primitive weapons at best. Emperor Day nodded slowly. Then it is time. Establish an outpost on Mars. That will be our first step. Back on Earth, Admiral Han reviewed the defense systems. The satellites that looked ordinary were actually powerful weapons. The rocks floating in the asteroid belt contained hidden fighter ships. Humanity had become masters at hiding their true strength. They think we're weak, said Director Jin as he joined Admiral Han on the observation deck. That's good. Admiral Han wasn't so sure. The Empire is powerful. If they decide to test us, then they'll learn what happens when someone ignores our warnings, said Director Jin. His eyes hardened as he looked out at the stars. We've been preparing for this day for 300 years. That night, as Admiral Han slept, the sensors at the edge of the system detected Imperial ships slipping past the warning beacons. The first ships of what would become a massive invasion fleet. Earth's warning had been clear, but the Galactic Empire had chosen to ignore it. They would soon learn their mistake. General Su of the Imperial Scout Fleet smiled as his ships moved past the last warning beacon at the edge of the solar system. His orders from Emperor Day were clear. Establish a foothold on Mars and prepare for the main invasion force. These humans think their warnings will protect them, he said to his second-in-command, Captain Min. But the Empire needs resources, and Earth has plenty. Captain Min looked nervous. The warning beacon seemed very serious, sir. Empty threats from a primitive species, General Su replied. His six-fingered hand waved dismissively at the view screen. Our scanners show only basic satellites and simple defense stations. This will be an easy mission. The Imperial fleet moved silently through the outer planets. 12 warships, each carrying hundreds of soldiers and advanced weapons. They passed Jupiter's moons without incident. No human ships challenged them, no weapons fired. General Su became more confident with each passing hour. See? Nothing to worry about, he told his bridge crew. The humans are probably hiding in their homes, hoping we'll go away. On Earth's orbital defense station, Admiral Han watched the Imperial ships on his screen. His face remained calm, but his hand tightened around his coffee cup. They've passed Neptune, he reported to Director Jin. 12 warships heading for Mars. Director Jin nodded. Let them come closer. Let them think they've won already. All across Earth, defense forces moved quietly into position. In underground bunkers, pilots climbed into advanced fighters that no alien had ever seen. In orbital stations disguised as weather satellites, weapon systems powered up silently. The Imperial fleet reached Mars orbit without any resistance. General Su laughed as he prepared the landing parties. Begin setting up the base, he ordered. The main invasion fleet will arrive in 3 days. By then we'll be ready to take Earth itself. The first Imperial shuttle descended toward Mars. General Su watched from his command ship, already imagining the praise Emperor Dai would give him for such an easy victory. That's when Earth struck. What the Empire had thought were simple satellites suddenly transformed. Hidden panels slid open, revealing weapons unlike anything the Imperial forces had ever faced. From the asteroid belt, hundreds of fighters appeared as if from nowhere, their stealth systems dropping to reveal Earth's true military might. "What is happening?" General Sue shouted as alarms blared throughout his ship. Where did these ships come from? On his view screen, he watched in horror as Earth's fighters unleashed weapons that seemed to bend gravity itself. 2 Imperial warships crumpled like paper toys, their hulls collapsing inward from forces the Empire had never encountered before. Admiral Han's voice came through on all Imperial channels. "Imperial vessels, you have violated Earth's sovereign space. You were warned. Earth is off limits." The Imperial shuttle trying to land on Mars was caught in a beam of blue light. Instead of destroying it, the beam froze it in place, suspended above the Martian surface. Captain Min's face had gone pale. "Sir, these aren't primitive weapons. The humans have technology we've never seen before." General Sue could only watch as 3 more of his warships were disabled by Earth's defense systems. The humans weren't just defending, they were demonstrating power. "Retreat," he finally ordered. "Back to Imperial space immediately." As the remaining Imperial ships tried to flee, Admiral Han gave another order. Earth fighters surrounded one of the Imperial warships, disabling its engines but leaving life support intact. "They're taking prisoners," Director Jin noted, watching from Earth. Admiral Han nodded. "We need to understand why they came, and what the Empire plans next, and they need to understand what happens when someone ignores our warnings." The captured Imperial ship was guided to Earth's orbital station. General Sue, now a prisoner, stared in shock at the human technology surrounding him. What he had dismissed as primitive was actually far beyond Imperial science. "How?" he asked when Admiral Han came to meet him. "How did you hide all this?" "Admiral," Han's face remained serious. 300 years ago, your people came to Earth. You thought us weak then, too. We learned from that mistake. Back on the Imperial capital, Emperor Day received the news of his fleet's defeat. His advisors stood in silence, fear visible in their eyes. "It seems," the Emperor said slowly, "that Earth is not what we thought it was." He stared at the message Admiral Han had sent him. "Earth is off limits. Next time we won't be so merciful." Emperor Day slammed his fist on the crystal table. The meeting room fell silent. 8 of his top generals stood frozen, afraid to speak after delivering the bad news. 12 ships lost to these humans? Emperor Day's voice was quiet but filled with anger. "General Sue captured? How is this possible?" Science Advisor Lee stepped forward. He was smaller than the others, with large eyes that blinked nervously. "Your Majesty, we have studied the data from the ships that escaped. The humans have technology we didn't expect." "Explain," demanded the Emperor. Advisor Lee activated a hologram showing the battle. The humans were hiding their true strength. Their weapons can control gravity itself. Their ships can appear and disappear from our sensors. And most concerning, he paused, they seem to have technology that links their minds directly to their machines. The Emperor stared at the hologram as it showed Earth fighters moving with impossible speed and coordination. "Our pilots report the human ships moved, as if they were part of the pilots themselves," Advisor Lee continued. "No delay between thought and action." General Park, commander of the Imperial fleet, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, this changes nothing. The humans caught us by surprise. But now we know what we face. We will send the 7th Armada, 500 warships. They cannot stand against such force." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Prepare the Armada. I want Earth brought under Imperial control. But first," he turned to Advisor Lee, "I want to understand how they developed these technologies without our knowledge." On Earth, Admiral Han reviewed the interrogation reports from General Sue. The Imperial officer had revealed much, mostly out of shock at seeing Earth's true capabilities. "The Empire spans 10,000 star systems," Admiral Han told Director Jin as they walked through the underground command center beneath Earth's Pacific Ocean. "They've never faced serious resistance before." Director Jin frowned. But now they'll come with a real invasion force. Yes, Admiral Han agreed. The prisoners say Emperor Day will send hundreds of ships next time. Workers rushed around them, preparing Earth's defenses. In the 3 centuries since first contact, humans had spread secretly throughout the nearby star systems. Now Admiral Han activated a secure channel. Colonel Yu, status report. A woman's face appeared on the screen. Behind her, stars were visible through a viewport. Alpha Colony is ready, Admiral. All 17 settlements are evacuating to the hidden bases. By the time the Empire arrives, they'll find nothing. Admiral Han nodded. And the Diaspora Protocol? Activated. Our hidden fleets are moving into position. If the Empire reaches Earth, they'll face attacks from all sides. The Admiral ended the call and turned to Director Jin. We always knew this day might come. That's why we kept our colonies secret. Why we pretended to be less advanced than we are. In the depths of space, the Imperial 7th Armada gathered. 500 warships, each carrying thousands of soldiers, formed a massive fleet. At its center was the Imperial flagship, a vessel 10 miles long with weapons that could crack planets. General Park addressed his commanders from the flagship's bridge. The humans have some advanced technology, but they are one small world against our empire. We will establish a forward base on their moon, then launch our attack from there. In the science section of the flagship, Advisor Lee studied the captured human technology. The Empire had managed to recover pieces from the battle. What he found disturbed him. General, you should see this, he called. General Park joined him at the laboratory table. What is it? This human device. Advisor Lee pointed to a small object. It's designed to interface directly with their brains. Our scientists found traces of human DNA merged with the circuitry. What does that mean? Asked the general. It means the humans aren't just using technology, they're becoming part of it. As the Imperial Armada approached Jupiter, they found the outer solar system empty. The warning beacons were gone. No human ships challenged them. They're hiding, General Park told his officers. Prepare to establish our base on their moon. But as the first Imperial ships reached Earth's moon, sensors detected something strange. The moon's surface rippled like water. What appeared to be solid rock suddenly changed, revealing massive hidden structures beneath. Admiral Han's voice came through on all Imperial channels. Imperial Armada, you were warned. Earth is off limits. The moon's surface opened, and thousands of human ships rose to meet the Empire's forces. Each human pilot connected directly to their vessel, thinking and acting as one with their machines. And far behind the Imperial fleet, human ships emerged from hiding places throughout the outer planets, cutting off any retreat. The battle for Earth was about to begin. The Imperial flagship shook as another blast hit its shields. General Park grabbed the edge of his command console to stay standing. All around him, officers shouted reports as warning lights flashed. 30 ships lost in the first wave. Human vessels are attacking from all sides. The general stared at the battle display. The Imperial Armada had arrived with 500 warships, the greatest fleet ever assembled. They had expected an easy victory against one small planet. Instead, they had found themselves surrounded. How are they moving so fast? He demanded. On the screen, human fighters darted between the larger Imperial ships. They moved in ways that seemed impossible, changing direction instantly, appearing and disappearing from sensors. Sir, the Science Division reports the human pilots are directly connected to their ships, an officer reported. They think the actions with their minds, and the ships respond instantly. General Park's face darkened. Launch all fighters. Target their command stations. In Earth's main defense control center deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Han watched the battle unfold. Holographic displays showed the positions of all ships, human and Imperial. They're splitting their fleet into 3 attack groups, he observed, trying to overwhelm us from different directions. Director Jin nodded. As we expected, activate the gravity disruptors. Around Earth's orbit, hidden platforms powered up. These were humanity's most advanced weapons, developed after centuries of research. The platforms fired invisible beams that warped the fabric of space itself. In space, 50 Imperial warships suddenly found themselves unable to move, caught in artificial gravity wells that held them in place. Their engines strained at full power but couldn't break free. "Perfect targets," Admiral Han said quietly. He gave the order. "Launch Phase 2. From Earth's oceans, massive cylinders rose into the sky. Each contained a human pilot in suspended animation, their consciousness fully merged with the ship's systems. These were the Guardian vessels, Earth's ultimate defenders. As they reached orbit, the cylinders opened. The vessels inside didn't look like normal ships. They seemed to shift and change, their surfaces flowing like liquid metal. Each moved according to the thoughts of its pilot, a perfect union of human and machine. The Guardians accelerated toward the trapped Imperial ships. On the Imperial flagship, General Park received the reports with growing horror. New human vessels. Approaching. Sir, they're changing shape as they move. Before the general could respond, a Guardian vessel reached the first trapped Imperial warship. Instead of firing weapons, the Guardian wrapped itself around the larger ship. Its liquid metal surface flowed over the Imperial vessel, seeking out weak points and control systems. In minutes, the Imperial ship went dark, all systems disabled. "What's happening?" General Park demanded. "They're not destroying our ships," Advisor Lee realized. "They're disabling them, taking them intact." In another part of the battle, Captain Wan led a team of human infiltrators. Their small stealth ship had attached to the hull of an Imperial cruiser. Using tools that cut through metal without sound, they created an entrance. "Remember," Wan told her team as they prepared to enter, "we need their command codes. Find the bridge, capture the officers." The infiltration teams were humanity's secret weapon. While the main battle raged, these specially trained soldiers boarded key Imperial vessels. Their mission was to gather intelligence and sabotage the ships from within. Captain Wan's team moved silently through the Imperial cruiser. Their suits blended with the surroundings, making them almost invisible. When they reached the bridge, the Imperial officers had no warning before stun weapons fired. "Bridge secured," one reported through her neural link. "Accessing their systems now." Similar teams throughout the Imperial fleet achieved the same results. One by one, Imperial command ships lost contact with their forces as human infiltrators took control. On the Imperial flagship, General Park realized the battle was turning against them. Already a third of his fleet had been disabled or captured. "Prepare the planet killer," he ordered. It was their last resort, a weapon designed to crack a planet's crust. "If we can't have Earth, no one will." But as the weapon powered up, alarms sounded throughout the flagship. "Intruders on multiple decks," an officer shouted. "They're heading for the main reactor." General Park drew his weapon. "Defend the bridge at all costs." Too late, he realized the true extent of humanity's planning. While the space battle had captured everyone's attention, human forces had already infiltrated his flagship. The doors to the bridge slid open. Standing there was Admiral Han himself, flanked by elite human soldiers. "General Park," Admiral Han said calmly, "I believe it's time we discuss terms of surrender." The general stared in disbelief. "How did you get aboard my ship?" Admiral Han smiled slightly. "You still don't understand what you're facing. Humanity isn't just defending its home. We've been preparing for this moment for 300 years. Behind them, the battle continued. Imperial ships surrendered one by one as their commanders realized they had severely underestimated their opponent. Earth had not just survived the Empire's greatest attack. It had won. The Imperial Palace throne room fell silent as Emperor Day entered. His long robes dragged behind him, heavy with jewels that sparkled in the light of 1,000 floating orbs. The Emperor's face showed no emotion, but everyone could feel his anger. 3 days had passed since the disastrous battle in Yisao, the Sol system. Of the 500 ships he had sent, only 87 had returned. The rest were captured or destroyed by the humans. "Bring in the messenger," Emperor Day ordered. Guards opened the massive doors. A single human walked into the throne room. He wore a simple blue uniform with a small Earth symbol on the chest. Despite being surrounded by aliens who towered over him, the human showed no fear. "I am Major Kang," the human said. "I bring a message from Admiral Han." The Emperor sat forward on his throne. "Your people have attacked Imperial ships. You have taken Imperial soldiers prisoner. This cannot stand." Major Kang smiled slightly. "With respect, Your Majesty, your ships entered our space after clear warnings. We defended ourselves." "Defended?" The Emperor's voice rose. "You had technology hidden from the Empire. You have secret colonies. You deceived us." "Yes," Major Kang said simply. "We did what was necessary to protect ourselves." The throne room erupted in angry shouts from the Imperial advisors. The Emperor raised a hand for silence. "Why have you come here?" he asked. Major Kang activated a small device. A hologram appeared, showing Admiral Han, Emperor Day. The hologram said, "I offer you a choice. You can continue this war, and we will continue to defend ourselves. Or you can meet with me to discuss peace." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "You think your single world can stand against my entire empire?" The hologram of Admiral Han changed. Now it showed planets, dozens of them, with human settlements. Some were hidden inside asteroids. Others were beneath the surfaces of moons. All had been invisible to Imperial sensors. "We are not just one world," Admiral Han's voice said. "We have spread throughout the stars, hidden in plain sight, and we have discovered things about the universe that your empire has not." Meanwhile on Earth, Director Jin walked through a special facility deep underground. With him was Advisor Li, the Emperor's chief scientist, now a prisoner. Li had been captured during the battle and brought to Earth. "Why are you showing me this?" Li asked as they entered a vast chamber. "Because you need to understand," Director Jin replied. The chamber contained an ancient ship. It was unlike any vessel Li had ever seen, made of materials that seemed to glow from within. 300 years ago, Director Jin explained, this ship crashed on Earth. It contained technology far beyond anything in the galaxy and a message. He led Li to a wall covered in strange symbols. "These are the writings of the ancestors, the first species to reach the stars. They seeded life throughout the galaxy, including your people and mine." Li stared at the symbols. "The ancient texts mention the ancestors, but we thought they were myths." "They were real," Jin said, "and according to their message, humans are their direct descendants, designed to inherit their knowledge when we were ready." "The neural interfaces," Li whispered. "The gravity technology. It all came from here?" Jin nodded. "The first Imperial ships that came to Earth 300 years ago were looking for this ship. They detected its energy signature. When they found humans instead, they tried to conquer us. We drove them away, but we knew they would return." "So you prepared," Li said. "For 3 centuries?" "Yes. And now the Emperor must decide. Continue a war he cannot win, or accept that humans will never be part of his empire." Back in the Imperial Palace, Emperor Day considered the hologram showing the human colonies. "Your message is received," he told Major Kang. "I will meet with your Admiral Han." 1 week later, the meeting took place on neutral ground, a small station at the edge of the solar system. Emperor Day arrived with 20 ships. Admiral Han waited with an equal number. The 2 leaders sat across from each other at a simple table. "Why did you hide yourselves?" the Emperor asked. "If you had revealed your technology, you could have joined the Empire as equals." Admiral Han shook his head. "We studied your empire. You conquer. You take. The strong rule the weak. That is not our way. And what is your way? To learn, to grow, to explore." Admiral Han placed an ancient device on the table. "The ancestors left us their knowledge for a reason, not to conquer, but to help all species evolve." The Emperor looked at the device. "What are your terms?" "Simple. Earth and all human worlds are permanently off-limits to the Empire. In return, we will share some of our medical and environmental technology, things that will help people, not weapons." Emperor Day was silent for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. The Empire recognizes Earth's independence. A neutral zone will be established. As the Emperor returned to his ship, he looked back at the human leader. For the first time, he felt something like respect. The descendants of the ancestors had returned to the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same. The end.